Good afternoon, everybody. This is All Things Cheryl. I'm here to do the mid-season preview on Greenleaf. And the title of the episode, this is Season 2, Episode 9. And the title is The Bear. We open up with Grace. We open up with Grace, who is basically had a serious battle with her Uncle Macks. And we know that from episode 8, Grace came to her uncle's apartment with the intent and purpose of looking and thinking that her daughter Sophia was there with her uncle. And we go to episode 9 and we find out, and we know in episode 8 that Macks has been stabbed in the neck with a bottle. And the season opens up with Grace stabbing her uncle in the neck, and blood is protruding out of the neck. And Grace is asking her uncle, where is Sophia? And the uncle tells her that he does not know where Sophia is, which basically he did not. He was basically telling the truth. He had no idea where Sophia was. But being that Grace have been tormenting her uncle and preying on her uncle, and knowing that her uncle was a pedophile, was not believing what Macks was telling her. And so Macks ends up dying by the hands of Grace, by his niece. It was the one who killed her Uncle Macks, was the one who was actually bent on telling and getting to, the truth, and the type of person that he knew what her uncle was. We also go with Macks had asked her to call 911, and she did not call 911 right away. Before she did not call 911, we also know it was self-defense, but she went about it and she took her time in calling 911. And so subsequently, Grace is in the ambulance after calling 911. And we see the detective around asking Grace, information about how long did it take for you to call 911? Did you call 911 right away? And apparently we know that Grace did not call 911 right away. And so we go on and we see that Lady May and the bishop is basically in the hospital waiting for Grace, waiting for Grace to come out so they could be there for support for her. While Grace is in the hospital, we see that the damages and the wounds that Grace had endured with the battle between her and her uncle. And so Grace comes out, and basically before Grace comes out, Lady May wanted to talk about her brother wanted to go down memory lane. And the bishop was kind of saying to her, look, right now I'm not in the mood to hear, your fantasy stories about your brother. Your brother just basically tried to kill my child. So forgive me if I'm not in the mood of hearing, the story. I just, right now I'm not in the mood for it, just kind of chill and let's see what's going on with my daughter. And basically he's right. Why would you want to hear stories about a man who at one time used to be your friend? You all used to have business together, but you find out that he is a predator and he has preyed on one of your nieces, which causes her to kill himself, and then the daughter is in a battle of her life. It's because he wanted to kill her too. And so we go on and we see that Grace comes out, the father hugs her, and Lady May basically embraced her daughter. She basically embraced her daughter and told her that she's glad that she was alive, and that the fact that she killed her uncle on self-defense. But we know that this is going to be some challenging for her. We know that Lady May is going to be looking at this, that the fact that her and Grace, even though Grace is the eldest, but Grace and her never was, they never got along together. So we go on and we see that Kevin and Aaron has gotten together. And Kevin has woke up early because of the baby. And so he gets the baby, but we look over and see that Aaron is knocked out and Kevin has gotten up, and he looks over at Aaron, and we know that Kevin in episode 8, Kevin was having some issues and challenges, and we knew that eventually that Karen and Aaron was going to get together, and so eventually they did wind up getting together. And so Kevin moves and he gets up early and he leaves the house. And he asked the housekeeper to watch over the baby while he goes into, work early. In the meantime, we are looking at Charity and Jabari. Charity and Jabari is together, I think in Memphis, and they're in the studio, and Charity is listening to the music and the songs that apparently the girl group that Jabari had put together. And so Jabari asked her, say, well, you want to go and let's go and listen to some more. And Charity says, no, let's not go and listen to some more. Let me go and check on and see how my son is doing, and I will get back with you. And so we see that Charity calls and Kevin is there, and Kevin and Charity is having a conversation. Charity asks, how's the baby doing? And Kevin says the baby is doing well. But in the meantime, we have some challenges. Your sister is not doing too good. Some things has happened. And of course, Charity is not happy about what she has heard from Kevin. And in actuality, Lady May was trying to keep this information away from Charity. But Kevin told Charity, and Kevin says, I understand how you feel about the family not telling you or telling you what's going on. So I wanted you and I needed you to hear the information. And so when Charity told Kevin that I believe this is going to be working out very well with us as far as us developing our relationship, as far as us, I would say co-parenting, both of them co-parenting. Although Kevin is not with the co-parenting kind of thing, because he actually loves his wife, he actually loves Charity. And although he is, I would say he is a bisexual man, but he is still struggling with the fact that he does love his wife. And so we go on and we see that Lady May and the bishop are in the house. And basically Lady May is talking about the fact that Grace is a hero. And so Grace comes in and she hears, what her mother's telling her, that she's a hero. And then you could see that Grace was basically, had a little, smile on her face, but that smile she lost that smile altogether when she found out what was the intent and purpose of her saying that Grace was a hero. And the reason why she was saying that Grace was a hero is to cover up the brand, cover up the image. And so basically Grace told her mother, like, you know what, for a minute there you almost had me, but now I basically see why you say that I am a hero. And so we go on and we see that Jacob, is it Jacob? I gotta remember. Is it Jacob? We go on and see that Jacob has basically gotten the deed for the land from Basie Skanks. And he is basically getting ready to go and show his father that he has the land and that they can, basically do some things with the land. But before that, he's with his wife, and basically his wife is telling him that you could basically go over there and you could show your father what you have as far as the lease is concerned, and as far as you having the land and the deed. But personally, I don't think it's going to work. So Jacob says, well, pray for me. She said, I'm going to pray for you, but I don't think it's going to work. And so we see that Jacob goes over. In the meantime, he runs into his sister. He asks his sister, are you fine or are you okay? And he tells her that you basically, you did what you had to do. And so Grace is asked Jacob, are you getting ready to come back over to Calverton? And he was like, well, I don't know yet. Let me see. And so we see that Jacob and the father, and Jacob was with his father, the bishop. And he tells his father, he says, look, I have the deed. And basically, I want to come over and we could get together and we can do the things that we need to do, and we can make Calverton even more powerful than what it is. And of course, the bishop reminded Jacob, do you not remember when you and Basie Skank spent a whole complete day in my office trying to tell me exactly, how you going to destroy me and everything? And so, but Jacob went on and told him, well, look, I really do have this deed. And so the bishop says, okay, well, what, excuse me, what is the deal that you have? What is it that you want? So Jacob said, well, I was looking at that maybe you and I, we could basically co-pastor. And the bishop looks at him like, are you, I can't remember, but he's like, are you boo-boo the fool? And then Jacob said, well, Grace is not in a position. You basically need help. And so in a nutshell, the bishop basically turned him down. And so we see Jacob going back with his wife, and he and Marissa, I think it's Marissa or Melissa, I'm not quite sure. You have to excuse me. Tells him, like, I basically knew it's not going to work, but what about taking that deal with the guy who has the TV show? And so Jake was saying, like, I don't really feel good about this. It's because he wants to basically, have sex with you. And what kind of, Jacob says, well, what kind of man does that make me? And his wife tells him, she says, well, it's a man who needs to feed his family. And so Jacob went back and says, well, you know what? You're right. And but he says, you know what? I have an idea. And this is when his wife was getting ready to, prepared a sandwich for him. And she says, well, a man at least needs to have, you need to eat something. And so we go on and we see that Darius has come in support of Gigi. And Gigi is basically not really, she's still kind of off with the fact that she just killed her uncle. And that Darius, I don't really trust Darius. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't trust him. He is a journalist, and a journalist is out to, get the story and by any means necessary. And so we see that Darius and Grace has in the church together, and Grace has taken the opportunity to get on her knees and to pray. And she's praying with the fact that she does not want to go to jail, and she does not want to lose her daughter, because she knows and she understands that if Sophia's father get with of what has happened, that he is basically going to try to get sole custody. And we have to look at the fact that when she was going through all of this, and she saw her father at Calvin, and she was asking her father, I want you to do, she says, Bishop, I want you to do one thing. If I do go to jail, I want you to make sure that Sophia does not go to her father. I want you to take care of her. And so the bishop tells her, well, you're going to be fine. I just wish you have faith, more faith. And she says, I wish I do too. And so we know that Aaron is somewhat of the family lawyer. And Aaron has been smitten by Kevin. The reason why I said he has been smitten by Kevin, I don't know who bought who out. I don't know. I think Kevin might have bought him out. It would seem that Aaron might have been the most experienced person, but it seems that Kevin might have turned Aaron out. We're not quite sure. And so Aaron is around asking for Kevin, wanting to know where Kevin is, and he goes in and he sees that Kevin's office has nothing but a bunch of boxes, and that Kevin has basically packed up all of his stuff and he's getting ready to leave Calverton. You now remember in a couple of the episodes, they wanted him to basically move out when they found out what Kevin was a bisexual man, or he has these tendencies. And so Aaron wasn't able to find Kevin. But in the meantime, Aaron is coaching Grace, Gigi, as to what to say when they go into the detective office, into the police office in Memphis. And so we see that the detective was asking Grace questions about basically what time did you call the 911? Did you call right away or did you wait? And you can see that Grace was kind of hesitating, and that Aaron was basically allowing her to, do some of the answers. But when he saw that she was basically getting ready to sabotage herself, he intervened and said, "This is it. We're done." So we know that the detective wasn't really satisfied with what he was hearing. He knew that there was some flaws in the story, but he really couldn't go any further. And so we go on and we see that Charity has basically reached home, and she was kind of upset at the fact that some things had happened to her sister. And of course, Lady May was basically upset at the fact that Charity found out the information, and she because Kevin told her. And I don't know why they think that Charity, I don't know. I don't. They have this thing about Charity, and I understand that Charity is the youngest of them. She's the youngest. But they went on and they asked about, well, how did it go? With you and Jabari, and Charity says, "Oh, it went very well. It went extremely well." And so you could see the face on the bishop and the face on Grace and the face on Lady May. All of them was in agreements with, yeah, as far as that they pretty much know, what the deal is going to be with Jabari and Charity. I don't think it's going to last, but we will see. So we go on and we see that we found out that Sophia is fine. And we also see that Grace has taken a moment, and she goes into the bathroom and she looks at herself and she sees all of the bruise that's on her complete body. And we see that the camera is zooming in all of the wounds and the damages, especially her knees and especially her hands has really been bruised and damaged. So we go on and we find and we see that Kevin has went into, I think it's called I don't know, but the group that is supposed to be praying away the gay or whatever. He went in and basically he said, "Look, I messed up. I messed up in a way that I basically, slept with a guy." But he didn't say that to the group. He basically told them, he says, "Look, I messed up, and fortitude." And he told these people, he said, "All of this that you saying, pray away, take this concoction and everything, it doesn't work. It does not work. The best thing that you all can do is basically be who you are." And I totally agree with that. Of course, people who are dealing with those issues and challenges of being bisexual, gay, or lesbian, or queer, or however you want to put it, the best thing is to deal with it in your own way and on your own level. And so we know that Kevin is going to have some challenges with this. And then we see that Charity has went in to check on the baby. And she went in and checked on the baby, and it's a beautiful baby. It's a beautiful dark baby. It's cute as a pie. And we see that Kevin has basically left a letter for Charity. Now, what that letter said, we don't know, but we can see that it was not good. And the way that Charity looked at it, and the camera zoomed in on her face, you see that there is some things. And what this letter is saying, I don't know. We won't find out until today. And so we go on and we see that Grace is going to have some issues and challenges. With the fact that we see that Grace goes out and she looks out into the lake. And we see that the camera, Grace's back is turned and she's looking at the lake. And we hear this voice, and the voice says, do you know how many times I prayed not to go to jail? And the voice says thousands or hundreds of times. And it ends in that way. Now, I know I might have missed some things, but I'm trying to make it short. But we know that Sophia is telling her mother that it's not my fault that you did what you did. And we know that Sophia and Zara had a conversation. And Sophia was telling Zara, why would you want to go with someone who really doesn't want you to be able to tell the truth and speak your mind? And I know that this just hit me and I didn't want to miss it. But basically, I believe Zara is not going to drop this little womanizer, and that she's going to continue on to date this young man. But in the meantime, guys, the title of this is that, let me go on before I forget. It seems that Grace will not be prosecuted. But I don't think so. I think this detective, he's kind of bent on trying to find the truth. Did Grace actually kill the uncle by not calling 911 right away? And we also know that Darius is a journalist, and he's going to find the story. We also know that Lady May has basically released the secret that she has been keeping with her for quite some time. She finally tells the bishop that the reason why her brother went the way he was is because he saw her father molest his sister. And so, of course, that was shocking to the bishop. So we know that Lady May finally released the secret that she was having. And we also know that Lady May has called her sister Mavis. But Mavis was like, look, if you're trying to get a hold, or if you want a book, and give me, leave the information, but don't take up too much of my time on my answering service. So basically, I felt that Lady May should have left a message to let her know that her brother is dead, and that her niece was the one who killed him. We shall find out exactly what will happen today, which is the beginning of season 2 of the mid-season of Greenleaf. Until the meantime, I would say thank you. Have a good time, and we shall see you tomorrow. Peace, love, and all that is well. Take your time on if you like this interview. Click it. If you don't like it, click it. Please have a conversation with me. I would love to hear from some of you all. Please subscribe and hit the notification. Until the next time, I say peace.